Today, we're diving into the wonderful wisdom of Haemin Sunim's book, Love for Imperfect Things. In a world that seems absolutely obsessed with being perfect, we're going to look at a much kinder, more compassionate way to accept ourselves, flaws and all.
So let's just jump right in with a feeling that I'm pretty sure is familiar to almost everyone. This constant nagging pressure to be perfect.
And I mean, really think about it for a second. Have you ever just looked back on your day or your week and felt that way about something you said or something you did, or maybe even about your relationships? It's that sinking feeling that your best plans kind of went sideways, or that you've made mistakes you wish you could take back. The author just captures this feeling so perfectly here. He explains that feeling dissatisfied isn't some kind of personal failure. Nope, it's a totally universal human experience. Our lives are like that old mirror. They're just bound to have a little dust on them. It's not just you. So where does all this intense pressure even come from? Well, the book points to a really common source, something it calls the good person trap. For a lot of us, this whole thing gets started way back in childhood. You get praised for being a good kid, right? Which usually means you're quiet, you don't cause trouble, and you just go along with what the adults want. You basically learn to push down your own needs to make other people happy. The problem is, all that frustration and anger, it doesn't just disappear. It gets trapped inside and turns inward, and that can often lead to things like depression or anxiety down the road. And here's the crucial point. Our whole definition of a good person can get, well, twisted. It stops being about real, genuine kindness, and instead becomes about being really good at ignoring what you need for the sake of everyone else, and never really speaking up for yourself. Now, this realization leads to a huge turning point in the author's own story, and it's really the core message of his book. You have to learn to be good to yourself first. You know, the author himself fell right into this trap. When he was in grad school, he was always the good student, always taking on the tasks that nobody else wanted to do. He kept telling himself it was the right thing, but all that self-neglect led him straight to serious stress and burnout. It was right around then that a friend gave him this piece of advice, and he said it felt like being struck by lightning. It was a complete paradigm shift. See, it's not about being selfish. It's about totally reordering your priorities. And this just illustrates the point so brilliantly. It's the whole you can't pour from an empty cup idea, right? Taking care of yourself isn't selfish at all. It's absolutely essential. It's only when you're okay, when your own mask is on, that you can truly and effectively be there for others. Okay, so let's see how this idea then ripples out into our relationships. The book makes a great case that when we learn to be kinder to ourselves, we kind of unlock the ability to be kinder to everyone else, too. To show this, the author brings up the movie A River Runs Through It. There's a father, a minister, whose son leads this reckless life that he just cannot understand. But after his son dies, he says this beautiful line to his congregation, showing that his love was never, ever dependent on understanding or approving of his son's choices. This really gets to the core difference between liking someone and truly loving them. Liking is often conditional, you know? We like someone because of their good qualities. But real, genuine love, as the book frames it, is loving someone in spite of their imperfections. It's about embracing the whole, messy, wonderful person. So this whole journey of self-compassion, of learning to love our imperfect selves and the imperfect people in our lives, it all leads us to one final, incredibly powerful takeaway. The goal here is not to become flawless. Come on, that's impossible. The real goal is to change your relationship with your flaws. To see them not with judgment, but with a sense of love and compassion, recognizing they're part of what makes you, you. This is such a powerful and practical shift in thinking. Instead of constantly looking sideways and measuring yourself against everyone else's highlight reel, just look inward. Recognize your own journey, your own effort, how far you've come. That is the only comparison that actually matters. And that brings us to this simple but profound idea. Your worth is not something you have to earn through achievements or by being perfect. The book reminds us that you are worthy of love, not for what you do, but simply for who you are. Your existence, right now, is enough. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. What might change in your life if you truly, deeply believed that your worth isn't based on your accomplishments or your successes, but just on the simple, undeniable fact that you exist?